Hi everybody, it's Gail, Shabby Cottage Studio. It's good to see you here. If you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. If you are a returning visitor, then I'm glad you came back, and I hope you all find something inspiring about this journal share I'm about to show you. And I hope you all are doing well this week, having a good one. I have another tall skinny journal that I just completed. I did a little different take on the tall and skinny journal. This one has a hardcover, but it's covered in fabric, and it has two signatures. So it's about 11 inches tall, 4 inches wide, standard tall, slim, tall, skinny, whatever you want to call it, journal. Add maybe another inch for the ruffle down here and for the edge of the fabric here. My little sparkles got turned over. Can you see them? Do they sparkle for you? Look at that. Some nice little rhinestones. The spine, I forgot to measure the spine. I think it's about 1.5. It's 1.5 inches on the spine. I have tied up the closure with some vintage silk ribbon. I love this. I'm going to be very sad when I'm out of it because I bought it years ago at a vintage market, and I'll never probably find it again. But I did tie it up with this and gave the whoever gets this journal, there's a nice long hank of this silk ribbon to use it as a closure or whatever they choose to use it for. I layered fabric and laces on this journal. Let me just show you this little ruffly part down here. This is a very, very old baby's dress, the bottom part of a baby's dress that I've had and decided to finally use. It's just, it's so thin, it's almost translucent. And then I layered this pink fabric. Again, this is something that, this is the last of this pink lace that I have. It's old, very old, it's vintage. And then I layered some dotted Swiss tulle on top of those. Underneath here is just some, it's just like a mint green fabric. And then I laid some vintage lace on top of that. And then this was gifted to me. It's a collar. It was a collar. And I love the layers on it. So I finally broke down and used that on this journal. Over here on the side, I don't know if you can see. Can you see the little, there's a little buttonhole. There's a buttonhole here, and there's a little buttonhole up here. And again, that's part of this little baby's dress that I've had for so long. So those are the layers of laces and fabric on this cover. And then the spine is covered in another layer of lace. And then the back is got the basically the same thing. You've got the little layers down here of the laces and the baby's dress and the tulle and the mint green fabric and some more of the vintage lace. I had this vintage button that I've added. This helps also to hold down the lace. It was flopping on me when I would turn the book, so I didn't like that part of it. And then I showed you the little sparkly rhinestones on a bulb pin here. The focal on this is, the image is from Sampool Designs, and I've used probably a dozen different designers plus some of my own digitals in this journal, and I'll just make a list and put them in the description box below rather than trying to remember everybody. If I know it and I call it out, fine, but otherwise it'll be in the description box below. The frame that I used is from an old photo album that I had that had lost its covers. So it was just the frames glued together on the spine, but there was nothing over the spine, and there were no pictures in it. And I've slowly been taking it apart and using the frames. Then I embossed with some texture paste. I embossed some roses. I used some spray inks to give it a little color and a little bit of gold leaf and a little antiquing around the edges. And I just really liked the way it turned out. I just wanted this to have that shabby vintage feel. And so that's why I went with these fabrics that I used and the choice of the photo and the album. There are, I think there's 114 pages in this journal, and that's, the fronts and backs. I've put pockets, quite a few pockets in here, and tags and journal cards, but I left a lot of it undone. So even though I've put a lot into this journal, there's still a lot left for someone to do their own decorating and to add whatever they want to add into this journal. I've added some different laces and fabrics on the edge of some of the pages, and I love this little dangle. That I know it comes from the artisan shop. And then on the back, that's just I just used a circle punch, and I think that's tissue paper, and I think this was just an image on regular paper. And I had these little metal circle thingamabobs, I don't know what you call them, that I've had from back in my mixed media days, and they were just sitting there, and I decided to try and use them. And it's on a bulb pin. Sorry, can you see? Bulb pin, and there is a little, it doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. Little rhinestone dangle there too. So let's get into this journal. My husband said this is a girly journal. So yes, she is. She's very girly. So let's get into her and see what she's got. On the inside cover, I've just put a large tuck or pocket, and then this is the back of it. This is this. Let me see if I can get it here. Let me sit these down. This is actually some, I don't know if it shows in the camera, it's a mint green. It's a fabric that I embossed, and the fabric was adhered to some cardstock or paper, and I embossed it, and I like the way it turned out. And then I put a little layer of the dotted Swiss tulle on top of that. And inside this pocket, there is a journal card with another image from Sam Poole Designs. And then this is just some tissue paper that I have decoupaged onto the card. Room for writing on the back. So nice tall journal card. And then this is chapter 1. I just stamped it. This is Sam Poole, Sam Poole stamps. And another Sam Poole stamp. This is an envelope, but I left it open. I printed it on the back, so it is a place to journal, or whoever gets this can glue it up and use it as it was intended, as an envelope. So that is in this pocket also. Over on this side, I took a vintage postcard that I had, and I made a flip. So there's room for journaling here. You could add a picture. This is light enough, this paper, that you could journal on that if you would like. There is a small flat Velcro attachment. What do you call those things? A Velcro dot, I guess. Just so that when you're moving around in this journal, it's not flopping open on you. And then I made a pocket. Whoops. And another Velcro tab. And put a tag or journaling card inside. So that's what's in that envelope. And then on the next page, I've just left it. I added some washi tape. This is pretty much ready to write in or add pockets. This is an authentic vintage, or actually it's an antique. I don't remember what the date is on it, but it's a handwritten French something something. I don't know. Some kind of letter. And then we have another pocket. I know this is Ruby and Pearl. And I've put a large tag inside that pocket. This is a vintage page from a magazine. What is that? The Girl's Own Paper, I think it's called. And it's 1800 something. But I liked the little black and white illustration. I think I mentioned in one of my last videos, I'm just really into illustrations here lately. I added some vintage lace. Isn't that pretty? I love that. I'm running out of that too. On this page, I did a belly band, and then I just did a little lace or fabric sampler, and just added, well, if I could do this, there's the lace, and then the sheer fabric, and then some more kind of lace netting. And this is the fabric that I used on the cover. I'm not sure what you call this. Is it cheesecloth? I don't know if it's cheesecloth. It's scrim. I think it's scrim that I dyed. That's what that is. And then the back. And then this is the back of the sample card. So I just stuck that into the belly band. Oops. We have another pocket here. And another large tag. Beautiful swans. Just some collaging. This actually is a digital collage, and then I've added this label. Just added some papers underneath the image. Some lace tea-dyed paper. This is a vellum pocket. Just bring it up close. I love that image. That, I believe, is Ida Jane. I think that's from one of her collections. And then this is the tag. This background is from one of my collections. Added a little label. Ready to write on the back. Place that in the pocket. I just did some ink spraying on the paper. I did that while I was staining the paper. I just, as my papers, I lay them all out on a table on my back porch, and I'll take a few of the papers and I'll just take some of my ink sprays and I'll just lightly spritz in a couple areas, and I like the way that turns out. This is a French book, 1700s. If you've seen any of my other videos, you've seen these before. I have a tendency to put them in all my journals until I probably run out of them. But it's just folded over and flips out like so. This is a German book, vintage, and I just folded this over. And we've got an authentic invoice, French invoice. This is, I think the date's on the other page, but it's either early 1900s or the 1800s. I'm not sure. We'll see when we get there. This is just some paper that I embossed. Just added a little label. This is the center of the first signature. Isn't that gorgeous? I printed that on some vintage sheet music and then attached that to some cardstock because I was concerned about how sturdy the paper was if I was going to put holes in it. So I wanted to make sure that it would hold up. Added some lace, some crocheted lace on the edge. Here I just put a little pocket on this page, and then I've added this little image. I just added some decorative embossed paper and then a narrow little tag. Let's see, 1914, that invoice, 1914. Telephone number 5. Put a little tab there. This is the other part of the other side of that German book. And here we have another pocket with a journal card, and there is some embossing. There's an embossed frame. It's hard to see, but you can see it from the back. And then in here is another authentic piece of French. 1922, probably maybe a government finances department, bureau affairs, so probably something to do with government. Excuse me. Down here I have a vintage piece of lace. I don't know it's called lace. There's a name for this and I can't think of what it is right now. But again, it's something that I'm getting low on. This page I just embossed with some texture paste and added a little bit of paper. Couldn't even think of the name. Paper. This is the other side of that French book page, and I just added some faux age tape to it. Excuse me, I'll take a drink of water. I've added a tab on this page. Here's a tuck. A little tuck on that page. And then I've added a tag and a label, some sari silk. And then this is a glassine envelope. That's the back of it. And inside, let me show you what I've put in here. Again, this is Sampool, and I've embossed it. Then I've done an embossed floral frame, embossed, embossed. There's a die cut, and embossed. I was having a fun day with my embossing machine, my die cut machine. Does them both, right? So I just tucked that right in there. Here's another envelope, and then I just, it's another pocket, and then I added this image on top and added this little text, and then inside, this is an authentic postcard. It is a street in Brooklyn, New York. I don't know the date on it, and it says artist unknown. But I added a tab, and let me see if I can get this so you can see it better. This is the little dangle that I added, and that's what you see hanging off the edge of the page. This is another pocket. This is a ruby and pearl. I believe that's ruby and pearl. And then I put a tall journal card with some embossing and some of my watercolor doodles, a little button little shiny button, rhinestone fake rhinestone button, and some lace and some scrim cheesecloth, and then that's the back. So that goes up in this pocket. This is that antique French paper. I still don't know the date on it. I should have known, but I don't remember. This, I added some lace to the edge of this page. Here's another pocket. And a tag that I created. Another Sampool design stamp. And I just lost my spot. Where did I have it? It was right in here. Another tuck. This is some cardstock that I have embossed. That pretty gold. This is a TaylorMadeJournals. This is one of her gorgeous stamps. If you ever get a chance to get one of Lauren's stamps, they're fabulous. And then just a simple tag with some text at the bottom, book page, text, book page, whatever you want to call it. My words get all mixed up. Added some a tab to the edge of this page. Here's another sheet of that French. Just an embossed scrap up here on the top of this page. Let's see, here is another tuck. This is an authentic 1935. It's a very small envelope. There's nothing in it. And so I added it as a tuck. And then this is one of my images, my Polaroids, and one of Sam's stamps. And just tuck that right up there. This is just a piece of, this is like a little fabric flip. And then I used a Taperlogy flower on the fabric. There is some floral in the background. That's part of the fabric. And then one of Sam's stamps. There's a lot of Sam in this book. Hey, Sam. Just a little piece of faux tape. And then this is just off of some lace. I cut out the flower and used that as a tab. It's another pocket and another large tag. I love this image. I didn't do much to this. I didn't want to cover it up. I loved the image and I loved the embossing. So I've added, this is, I think this is a ruby and pearl, and then I added a little sari silk down here in the corner and some sari silk up here. And then just a little gold, shiny something something. That goes in there. This is a vintage ledger sheet, ledger paper, and I just folded it over so it folds out. A lot of writing room. See, there's a lot of writing area in this book, in this journal, and a lot of places where you could still add pockets and tucks if you like. Here's a piece of lace on the edge of this page. Let's see. This is a piece of vintage Italian. I think it came out of a magazine. I have a very small paper-like magazine dated 18 something. I'm thinking this page came out of that. Either that or it's from Rachel at Roxy Creations. I did buy a package of her papers a while back. So it's one or the other. And then I just folded it up to make a little pocket and put one of the Tim Holtz little tiny clips on it just to hold it. But you can see it's open. And then this is the tag. And I just dropped the clip little collage on the back. And I don't know if I can get this back on. Oh, yay. Okay. So I just clipped that there. You can use it or not, whoever uses this journal. Doily. Paper doily with a very, I don't know if you can see it. It's got a very faint embossed rose design in it. Some straw paper with a little fabric tab down here at the bottom. Some more lace tea-dyed paper. This is a ruby and pearl. And it is a pocket. And inside the pocket, I've put these two faux Polaroid images. And this is from my collection in my shop. I love that one. I love them both. Put those in there. And then this is just on the other side. This is one of Ruby and Pearl's wallpaper. And then I just had some little shiny ribbon I put on the top here. This is an envelope. This is a belly band. This is the journal card that went inside the belly band, and I loved this so much. Again, I left it very simple because I loved, these are two different images, and I just collaged them on the card, and then I took some of this image that I had cut off, torn off, and I just added it here horizontally. On the back then is some writing area. And then this envelope, when you open it, I didn't glue it or anything, and I just kind of gave it an aged look inside, so it's another place to journal. Or if someone wanted to glue it, they could glue it and use it as an envelope, and then the flap just kind of tucks behind that little label, and the journal card tucks behind the belly band. This is the center of the second signature. Another gorgeous image, and some lace on the edge of that page. I just ruffled it up, put it on the edge of the page, and I see I have to fix that. I will fix that when I'm done with the video. Then here, let's see, I have another pocket, and inside this is another journal card. And I just did some collaging on this tall journal card. Added a fabric tab. Did some collaging on the back. I think I will glue this down so it doesn't do that. It probably got curled under when I stuck it in the pocket. So I will fix that. Okay, getting to the end, another fabric tab. This is the other half of the doily, the other half of the that Italian vintage Italian magazine page. And again, I folded it up on this side and made a pocket. I put one of the tiny clips on there. And inside, this is a vintage 1937 postcard. My dearest Linda. So you can read that. And then this is an image that I printed on vellum. And just added some paper over the magazine page just to give it a little bit more strength. This is another pocket. This is just some brown packaging paper, and then I overlaid it with some lace that I have. And I put a tag inside. I collaged an image and some paper and lace. This is one of Lorna's stamps that I have. Sari silk on top. I just stapled it. I like the look of the staples. These are like a rose gold color. This is the other side of that vintage ledger paper. This is a vellum pocket. And then this is just a journal card with some vintage dictionary page, and it's adhered on top of some lace tea-stained lace paper and a label at the top, and then some embossing, and then I just aged the whole thing. And again, I lost my place. There we go. Excuse me, I need a drink of water. You know, I missed this the first time around. This is an authentic, where is that? Hold on, guys. There it is. I totally missed it. I was going to see if there was a date on this, and I cannot see a date on this. But it's very early 1900s or late 1800s. It's like a very thin, I don't know if it's onion skin, but it's thin like that. Handwritten in French. I added some lace on the edge of this page. I embossed down here in the corner. This is the other side of the French book page. I put a little round tab here. And then I put a pocket on this page. And I've added a journal card. I love this image. Love, love. It's, I printed this on vellum. Back is to write on. Then this is Sam Poole. This is her Shabby Photographs 3, I think. This one and the one that had the chocolate. Those are one of her later ones. And again, it's embossed. And then this is another die cut. And I used another stamp I have from Lorna at TaylorMadeJournals. The shine on that gold embossing. I love that gold embossing. So I put those in the pocket, and then we come to the end. And here I just did a little lace flip. See if you can see the lace. And then I collaged a window envelope, and there's some more of that tulle, dotted Swiss tulle. And the tag, or journal card, whatever, slips out. And again, this is some fabric that I added on top of the cardstock and embossed, and then added it to this tag. So it's a very tall tag, journal card. And then this is the image that you see through the window of the envelope. And like I said, I just collaged the whole envelope. And then that just slips inside. Pull the lace down. And that's it. Goodness. I haven't done a big journal like this in quite a while. My mouth is really dry. Sorry. So anyway, that's my latest journal. She's a girly girl. I love her. I love all the little frilly things. So I hope you enjoyed this, and like I said, she'll be listed in my Etsy store when you see this video. Again, thank you for stopping by. I love your comments. I say this all the time, but I mean it. I love your comments. I love that you stop by and visit. I like to go and visit other YouTubers and be inspired by everything I see. The creators in this journal community are just absolutely amazing. And I don't mean just digital designers. I mean all of them. Digital designers and journal creators and all the artists that work so hard to create such beauty. I appreciate them so much. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Book from the 1700s. I've added